Today I'm going to show you one of the craziest one-year natural transformations ever. I'll be going through my progress footage month by month to demonstrate how insanely quickly muscle can be built with the aid of muscle memory. This is the fastest way a natural lifter can build muscle, and I hope it helps motivate you to do the same. I'll quickly show you what I mean by this elusive term you've probably heard before but never seen in action. Muscle memory.
A powerful muscle memory effect.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory simply refers to the fact that it's much easier to regain lost muscle mass than it is to put on new muscle mass in the first place.
As you may have guessed, I built up a solid physique in the past and lost it. How, you ask? Well, it's a long and complicated story, so I'll skip most of it now and get to the main transformation. But in short, I was told by my cardiologist 10 years ago if I don't stop lifting weights, I'll die. So I stopped lifting weights, well, sort of.
Yeah, buddy! Wait! Yeah!
I then underwent an additional 3 heart surgeries which have resolved the issue of imminent death via weight training. Don't worry, I'll explain it in more detail a little later in this video. So, with the gym ban from the doctor and years without lifting, this was where my physique was at. I had traded lifting for casual triathlon training and bouldering once to twice a week. My weight remained steady at about 88-90 kilos for about 10 years. I am 6'1" for reference. So, this seems to be about my baseline physique without training for size. But it got a lot worse. I lost a ton of muscle after the recent 3 heart surgeries I had over a period of 18 months. As you can imagine, after having open heart surgery, there are a lot of physical limitations initially, such as a 2 kilo lifting restriction for 6 weeks. So around 6 weeks post-surgery, I was probably at my smallest, but I was still the same weight as the muscle I had lost had been replaced with fat. 4 months after my surgery, I finally rejoined the gym with no plan to bulk up yet, because I hadn't got the all clear from the doctors. Instead, I used the gym training to complement my climbing. I did a recomp in a calorie deficit, aiming to maximize my power to weight ratio by replacing the fat I had gained with the muscle I had lost. I trained twice weekly, and this is what my workouts looked like for the first 6 months. These were hard to get through at the time, especially with my heart rate suddenly dropping by half to 2/3 while exercising hard. It took 3 to 5 minutes to recover after each set. At the end of this recomp, I was 86 kilograms, the lightest I had been since I was 18 years old. I would guess I lost about 8 kilos of fat and gained about 4 kilos of muscle in that time. This is my starting physique for the main transformation. 86 kilos and about 10% body fat. I had now reprogrammed my training sessions to focus on hypertrophy. After the first month of training and eating in a large calorie surplus as well as supplementing creatine, I had increased my weight by 6 kilograms. I didn't have much time to work out, so I did 2 full body workouts weekly. 2 months into the bulk, I had gained another 1.5 kilos, putting my weight at 93.5 kilograms. My brother had joined me on the bulk at this point, and like me, he had not lifted for years. I gained another 1.5 kilos during the 3rd month, bringing my weight up to 95 kilos. We continued to do the same workouts twice weekly, which looked something like this, but the isolation exercises were neglected from the start due to time restrictions. 4 months in and another 1.5 kilos gained. I was really happy with how the physique was progressing. I felt like I was gaining a good ratio of muscle to fat. To monitor this process better, we started using calipers to measure body fat percentage. While they're not particularly accurate at measuring true body fat percentage, they were at least a good tool to track body fat percent increase or decrease. I've put up the measurements on the screen for you to see. I would guess my body fat percent was around 13 to 14%. 5 months in and another 2 kilos added to the frame. A little more fat than ideal, but otherwise everything was going smoothly. I was now getting closer to my body fat percentage limit and I was considering slowing the bulk now. Then the 6-month mark was here with yet again another 1.5 kilo gain. I was now happy with my level of bulkiness to try and maintain the same level of body fat while aiming to increase my body weight with only lean tissue. I was now up a total of 14 kilograms since starting the bulk 6 months ago. I would guess that I had gained about 5.5 kilos of fat and 8.5 kilos of lean mass. In the next month, I managed to limit my weight gain to just 0.5 kilogram, which is exactly what I was hoping for, as strength and muscle gain had started to drop off a lot now that I was close to achieving my physique from over 10 years ago. At this point, I had pretty much used up all of my potential from muscle memory. While I show the next few months of footage, I'll continue my story about why I had to stop lifting. At the 8-month mark, I'd put on another 0.5 kilo and things were going smoothly. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, I had to stop lifting about 11 years ago due to my cardiologist telling me I would die if I kept lifting heavy weights. This is not normally a concern for most people, as lifting weights is not inherently dangerous and it generally is linked with longevity. But my situation is different. I was born with congenital heart disease, meaning I've got defects of my heart and blood vessels. The cardiologist's concern was aortic rupture, which is splitting of the largest blood vessel in the body and then pretty much instantly bleeding out. Now, I didn't really want this to happen, so I listened to the cardiologist, ignored his warning, and went back to lifting weights at the gym like any 20-year-old gym rat with an exercise science degree would.
Idiot.
I figured I would be fine if I just used the principles I'd learned in my degree to keep my blood pressure lower during training, such as unilateral training, avoiding big lifts like squats, deadlifts, leg press, and keeping reps in reserve, so avoiding failure. My logic was this new style of training should be well below the threshold to rupture my aorta, as I knew my body was able to handle extreme blood pressure spikes from my previous 7 years of heavy training. Unfortunately, my cardiologist did not agree.
No way.
During the 9th month, I ate a little more than I should have and gained 1 kilogram. Not much of a concern, but this started to push my body fat up a little quicker than I would have liked. Now, back to the story. When I showed up to my 6-month follow-up with the cardiologist, I walked in maintaining most of my muscle mass. And he looked me up and down with extreme disappointment, and he said, "You are going to kill yourself if you keep this up." Of course, I didn't want to accept this, so I debated, lost, and gave up my passion for lifting. Or so I thought. I'll try not to go to the gym.
Okay. I'm not quite...
What happened next is a story for another time. The following 3 months went smoothly, with 0.5 kilo gain each month. No major injuries, just the occasional lower back pain, neck pain, and knee pain. Something you should have noticed by now is my lat spread looks weird, and my V taper looks a bit off. This is due to my left lat being cut through during an open heart surgery I had at 9 years old, where they used a lateral thoracotomy approach. This is probably what I would have looked like if it was not damaged. By month 12, I had a finishing weight of 103.5 kilograms and about 16 to 18% body fat. I had not stopped the bulk, as I have not reached my goal, nor my natural limit. In theory, I'm not even close. My goal is 105 kilograms at 10 to 12% body fat. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I think it's possible, especially after seeing how big some of the noble natties got compared to their original size. I seemingly have a great advantage of having a high genetic set point for muscle, meaning more muscle mass to start with. So in theory, I should be able to get similar or more gains than them, assuming I train hard, eat well, and get enough rest for recovery. Or as I like to say, train insane or remain the same. I am also excited to see how this extra muscle mass will look while lean. Compared to this old photo, I've put on almost 10 kilos of lean mass. It's going to be crazy. I hope this helps motivate you to get back to lifting after a break from training. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to follow my journey.